Today it's quite informal. It's about just going through the various procedures that we've got all the information on the website. So what you hear today, you can refer to back on the website. It's got the policies, it's got all the training schedules, all the various calendars. So I do ask you to go and look at the website on a regular basis because we're constantly updating, and sometimes we don't always get information out via an email. So if you're always referring via the web, you're always going to know information is going to be updated. Today is about us pretty much predominantly to talk and introduce you to Tim Hayes, our coaching director. Tim's just going to go through all the various procedures of training, competition, some various criteria, and just methods that the club needs to enhance to obviously make it easier for you as parents and obviously the kids as lifted. So I might bring Tim up now and start talking about what we're about to do this season, pretty much the training schedule. One thing we need to look at is the training fees. We have brought the training fees way down from last year. Board training was quite expensive, but we've been able to bring it down through a subsidy in the club, down to $75, and for beach training it's $50 a year. And obviously that's fairly good for an opportunity to actually be trained by some amazing coaches. So Tim's just going to go through some various things now.
Amazing, I don't know about that.
Good job, mate.
Yeah, so welcome everybody. We're trying to put it into, we're going to put it into structure at Queensy. Roger, down the back. Basic purpose of today is to meet the coaches. We've got quite a few very capable athletes, some former athletes, not in me, as in a few of the guys down the back, that very, very good in their time, but just putting their career ahead of their competitive surf life saving. But if they put their surf life saving ahead of their career, no doubt they'd be on the Kellogg series, I reckon. So there's some very capable people, and we're lucky to have them on board. But we're going to make, as you all know, being very good at your game, it's a whole lot different being a good coach. And we all know about that. You can be a very, very good footballer, but not a very good coach. Very good at netball, not a very good coach. So we're trying to make, and we're going to make all our younger coaches who are very good competitors, were and still are, if they want to be, very good coaches. In that, I'm going to give them a challenge that every time they send the kids out around the cans or out around a board during training, that they've got to pick at least one good and one bad or one not so good skill or thing that happened that they saw, the group of 10 or so or 15 people going out. They've got to identify that and then tell the group what it was. And if we can do that every time, it should be up and up, rather than just going out and around, which is very good also for conditioning, but you can learn a lot. The crew, these coaches, we've got Lauren Susan here. Lauren. Okay, Lauren's been in the Northern Beaches team a few times, and she's also the daughter of our president. Emma Parvin. Emma did had a bit of a hit on the Kellogg series, and won stacks of Australian and state medals. So very good to have Emma here. Carly, she'll be floating around. She's from a strong swing background, and the boys, Liam down the back. Liam, he trained very hard last season, leading into the Kellogg's trials up at Noosa. Whilst working, he had a very crap boss, didn't get much time off, and went in a little bit underdone at the trials and hung up his boots at the end of the trial, so he didn't even train for the season. But we're getting back on the horse soon. And Harry, my son Harry, who'll be around, who's also won a few state medals in surfing and board leagues and tackle and relays. Okay, so you've got a few good bit of expertise hanging around there, and just to put it out there, Liam and Harry have got exceptional board paddling technique, in that some of Australia's best coaches have checked them out to critique their technique, and they had nothing to say. So that's pretty good. All right, so you've got good natural ability there. Myself, I grew up with nippers at South West Rocks, and I sort of gave away for about 20 years, and I've been back into it for about 10 years. So happy days. All right, we've got a communications committee at the club that most of you are aware of, and their role is to basically communications, get the information out and in, up and down, so that we're all there's no barriers. Everything's transparent, and the communication committee are tossing all sorts of information around and putting it out to the club on all levels. So that's a great move and a great step. Really trying to encourage parent involvement. Rather than just drop the kids off and going out for coffee or sitting up and chewing the fat on the grass, come down, ask questions of the coaches if you like, obviously when they're not talking to the kids. Bearing in mind when the kids are, if the coach is standing on the beach, when the kids are going out, the coach will be sort of taking into what's happening out there as well, making sure they're okay, checking technique, what they're doing wrong and right. So don't sort of take their attention away too much from the kids. Things like if we're doing transition runs off the board onto a swim leg or whatever, we need, if you see spinning boards around so the kids can pick it up like they're in an Ironman transition, come down and help out. Come down and help spin the boards around. Okay, help us set up the beach, putting the poles out. If you're confident in the water, or your conditions are so that you could look after yourself in the water, bring a wetsuit down, be prepared to get wet, and help out with water safety. Because if we don't have the water safety and the conditions are such that we need to look after, need water safety in the water, we won't be sending them out the back. It's a duty of care thing, okay? Unless we have the water safety. So if you're confident in the water, certainly come out with your wetty if you need it, or sloggos, and water safety. As I said, if we need water safety and we haven't got it, the kids will not be going at the back. Alrighty? Has anyone here got their bronze? And if I say, who's got... Great stuff, Sean. If anyone wants to get their bronze, you just ask questions around the club. We'll direct you who to see. James would be a fair start. That's all James a minute ago. James, who would they see to get their bronze these days? Johnny O'Toole or someone?
Sorry?
To get their bronze, who would they see? Yeah, to get their bronze, any of this crew.
You see either a guy called Dave Torville or Gary Crawford, you can see me.
Yeah, okay. So just ask around, thanks James. So if you ask around if you want to get your bronze, and we'll line it up, it's all about fun. And I was saying to the communications group the other night, winning is pretty good, and kids get a little bit of a, they get a bit of a kick out of it, and it's good for great for confidence. However, I'll give it to you. When you see not so much like this today, but there are. I mean, the coaches will be out there, no problem, in those conditions. So and all of them would be out in those conditions, like this today, no problem at all. So when you see your 12-year-old out in pretty large, dangerous surf, just because they want to be out there catching waves, coming down the face of the wave with a big smile on their face, it's a pretty good day. And that's what we're after at the end of the day, is to get everyone confident in the surf and have fun along the way. And by doing it in the structure of a surf club and nippers, it's just one of those little, it's the commitment, it's the discipline that you pick up the skills along the way. And if we keep it fun and fair and a happy environment, it's a pretty good thing to be involved with. And one last thing is that to do that, if everyone puts in a little bit whenever you can, it just lightens the load across the board and everyone can have, everyone can enjoy it. People don't get burned.